Let's go, Brandon, as the Delaware Blue Hens travel to Happy Valley to take on the 7th ranked Blue and White Penn State Nittany Lions here this September 9th, 12 noon kick. Thank you for tuning in and watching my live watch along reactions over here on YouTube. As always, I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Coin Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Hit the red subscribe button, notification bell next to it, live right here on YouTube. Stay up to date. Thumbs up button for Delaware Blue Hen. Thumbs up button for Penn State Nittany Lion. Share hashtag college football, hashtag Delaware, hashtag Penn State. Chat questions and comments, super chat, super stickers, super likes, super thanks. Always greatly appreciated, as well as this video is powered by both Rogue Energy and HopeKThrifts. First off, with Rogue Energy, be sure to get your favorite energy and hydration flavors in can or tub form, shakers, and Rogue Energy merch at the link in the description below. Be sure to use the code Luke123, that's Luke123 for 10% off. And then HopeKThrifts, a secondhand resale shop that focuses on sustaining the environment in a cheap and fashionable way, as most items are $20 or less, include brands like American Eagle, Converse, Free People, and Shine, among others. HopeKThrifts found on Depop, Instagram, Macari, and Poshmark at HopeKThrifts. It's HopeKThrifts. So be sure to use the message seller code CheapThrifts for 10% off. That's CheapThrifts, Cheap Thrifts, for 10% off. Link also in the description below. So Delaware and Penn State about to kick off. It'll be a Peacock exclusive. First time Penn State will ever have a exclusive game on a streaming platform. First time since 2003 against Kent State, 20 years ago next week, since they haven't been on TV, on cable. But as on Peacock, they're just running commercials. Coverage will begin shortly. So we got some time to kill here before they do in fact kick off here today. Once again, cloudy, about 70, rain this morning, potential for more rain later. So we'll see if the weather has any effect in today's game or not. But of course, both teams kicked off the season last week. Delaware defeated Stony Brook. Penn State defeated West Virginia. So just once again, thank you for tuning in and watching. It's the first ever meeting between these two schools. Today's game will not be 48 hours long, but it is for the kids, for Diamonds. Penn State Thon game this afternoon against Delaware. As Penn State Thon is the largest student-run philanthropy in the world. And as mentioned, today's game will be broadcast on Peacock. 12 noon kick on Peacock with Brendan Burke and Michael Robinson. Penn State's first football game ever to be exclusively streamed on a streaming platform rather than cable, as mentioned. First time since 2003 against Kent State, in which the Nittany Lions defeated the Golden Flashes 32-10 that afternoon. But yeah, first time in 20 years Penn State football has been on TV. Of course, there's still Penn State Radio with Steve Jones and Jack Ham. So go listen to them if you can't watch the game. But in the meantime, thank you for tuning in and watching my college football Delaware at Penn State live watch along reactions live right here on YouTube. As Peacock says, for Big Ten football coverage will begin shortly. We're about 10 minutes away from the top of the hour. Kick off a few minutes from that. But of course, back in the day, some games weren't shown on TV at all. You had to either listen on the radio, or because they were shown on tape delay, you had to wait till later that night, or hell, even the next day to watch. But we are live right now, pal. Okay? Delaware, Penn State, Beaver Stadium, September the 9th, 2023, first ever meeting. Going to be a little different, of course, as they show off the Big Ten map commercial that they'll have to extend cross country beginning next year in 2024 as the landscape of college football changes. But yeah, it's going to be a little different. Going to take some time to get used to this. Of course, I have streaming platforms, streaming apps to watch movies and shows on and such. And being a pro wrestling fan myself, with the WWE Network on Peacock, that's how I'm able to watch the pay-per-views. But for Penn State football, it's always been, TV. First ever game this afternoon. They'll be exclusively on a streaming platform. That is Peacock. No TV this afternoon. No ABC, ESPN anymore for the Big Ten in general, but even now, no CBS, no Fox, no NBC today, let alone, Paramount Plus, FS1, BTN. Peacock is NBC's streaming platform. So here we are, Delaware Penn State on Peacock, but it's going to, be a little different. Going to take some time to get used to, as mentioned. But we still got football going to be played, so we'll see what happens. Of course, we are. As the blue and white, they're going to honor the undefeated 1973 12-0 team today, as mentioned, or as well, excuse me. As, of course, it's been 50 years. It's also been 50 years since Penn State's John Cappelletti won the Heisman Trophy, the only Nittany Lion to ever win the award. And as mentioned, yes, last week, Delaware defeated Stony Brook 37-13, getting a little ahead of myself, one game at a time. Penn State last week defeated West Virginia 38-15. Left some points off the board. We'll get more into that in a minute, but a win's a win. And then the news broke this past week, midweek, sometime, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. Abdul Carter, starting linebacker for Penn State, number 11, was charged with a misdemeanor last month for marijuana possession. The incident happened, according to the report, on August the 8th, yet he still played last week against West Virginia, okay? So even though James Franklin said it's been dealt with internally, he still played last week, had a few stops, did have a quiet game, but made some plays late. But now it's also public knowledge, so, we'll see if he plays today now or not. They might eat him. They probably won't, though. You just never know. As Delaware is currently ranked, I might add, in the FCS top 25, as they're coming off an FCS playoff appearance last season. And then Delaware is better than you think they are. Just, as you crown them, don't leave them off the hook, you know what I mean? Expect Delaware to give Penn State a run for their money in the first half, even though Penn State is a 6-touchdown, 42-point favorite at home today with the over-under right about 55. So there's not much leeway, and the gambling aspect there for either or, unless you plus the points and potential under. But hey, as long as the blue and white come out on top, Delaware's got the Michigan-style helmets. It's going to seem like they're playing the Wolverines today, but they're playing the Blue Hens from Delaware. But Delaware, I think, honestly, they're going to, try to be as balanced as they possibly can. Their quarterback had a good game last week, from what I saw, over 300 yards, just like Drew Aller did for Penn State against West Virginia. But honestly, both teams establishing a run game today, I think, is going to be key, especially with potential weather later on, unless it holds off. Like I said, it rained this morning, pretty good. So we'll see. But Penn State's defense, as they gave up 150 on the ground last week to West Virginia, Delaware is also able to run the football. So they're going to have to stop the run. I think the secondary is going to get picked on a little bit more today than they did last week. West Virginia's quarterback, Garrett Green, was able to run more than he could throw. Better at that. So, use your pluses and minuses there. Take what defense gives you, advantage here, advantage there. But I mean, they did throw it a little bit, not much. Might have been a little bit closer than it ended up being if they were able to throw the football, but they weren't. But Delaware, like I said last week, over 300 yards, 1 point less than Penn State scored last week. You know, I get it's a different level, but it's still football. So, you know, pretty, based on week one stats and the final score, pretty even across the board. But Penn State's defense, I think they're just going to stop the run. They're going to be without a few defenders once again today as well. Keziah Izzard and Amin Vanover up front out. Daquan Hardy in the secondary out as well. And then wide receiver Malik Mega is also out with Omari Evans questionable once again, even though he did practice this past week. So we'll see, you know, who plays, who doesn't. They played 5 true freshmen last week, I might add as well. But defensively, overall, create turnovers and capitalize off turnovers. And offensively, just don't turn the ball over, okay? You know, Penn State, let Drew Aller get comfortable in the pocket, keep it simple for him. As we're about 5 minutes away from kick, the blue band on the field for pregame. It's Penn State Thon game as they bring us in live to an aerial shot of Beaver Stadium. As the student section is still filing in. Of course, it is 12 noon kick, so they'll fill it up here in a little bit. No whiteout, no helmet stripe, just Penn State Thon. So, of course, the S logo behind the tunnel, and that used to be off to the side, and then the Thon logo's right next. But we're going to fight on state and see if they can, get a victory today against Delaware. Get to 2-0 before they travel to Illinois next week, who lost last night. We'll get more into that game later. Don't want to get too far of ourselves. But yeah, fight on Penn State. So they're going to show the whole pregame from here on out now, it seems like. As one of the best damn bands in the land, the Blue Band. We'll line the tunnel, and team's about to enter. Delaware bust up yesterday from campus. Just have to see how many of their fans also made the trip. First ever meeting. We'll see if Pat Devlin gets in a quarterback for either team today too. But hey, we are Penn State. Beaver Stadium. You ready for the greatest show in college football? As I'll ask, are you ready for Penn State football? Give me a hell yeah, we are. So, here we go. We'll get more into Drew Aller here in a minute. Hopefully, knock on wood, no technical difficulties, as it says in the description now below. If something occurs, I'll try to get the stream back up as soon as I possibly can. So stay tuned. You know, if that does in fact happen, unfortunately, don't want it to happen. But if it does, just, you know that we'll continue on. Might be a couple minutes, but we'll get it back up and running. So P S U. Let's go, PSU. Hey, hey, oh. Hey, hey, oh. Hey, hey, oh. Hey, hey, oh. P S U. Let's go, PSU. Tequila. And now the opening video package that they changed up this year. As Mark Calloway, the phenom, the dead man himself, the Undertaker, has made his presence known. And Penn State about ready to chokeslam Delaware straight to hell. We are Penn State. Of course, it's our towns, our cities, our state, our valley, our team, Nittany Nation. We're going to hail to the Lions, fight on state. We are Penn State. And now they fade to black. And we'll go live on Peacock for Delaware and Penn State. There's campus. We're also going to be watching Nebraska, Colorado, along with Notre Dame and NC State, and Utah, Baylor as well. So we'll see how long it takes them to get going. But as I was saying, offensively, for Penn State, let Drew Aller get comfortable. Keep it simple for him. You know, let Drew be Drew, but run the damn ball. Help him out a little bit. Run it more consistently than last week. As here comes Delaware out of the visiting tunnel. Penn State about to take the field as well. But they got to get the tight ends more involved today, okay? Please and thank you. Open up the middle of the field. And now, the blue and white for the glory, for Thawne, for the kids. And, of course, that's good luck. 9 times out of 10, when he does hit that front flip, the blue and white are victorious on a Central Pennsylvania fall Saturday afternoon. Led by James Franklin in his 10th season. We are Penn State. We are Penn State. Let's go. Let's go to work. So like I said, we'll see. Early kick compared to the night game last week. Just in general, though, it doesn't really matter what time they kick off. Seemingly always start slow. Penn State football for you. We'll see how long it takes them to get going. But yeah, let Drew Aller get comfortable. Keep it simple for him. Run the damn ball. Run more consistently. Get tight ends more involved. Let Drew be Drew. Dish it, of course, all the weapons he has to throw to. Especially at receiver, for God's sakes. I mean, they're a good 10 deep there with 18 total on the roster, with probably at least 6, 7, 8 of them going to play, from now until the end of the season, all season long. Tight ends more involved today, even the running backs out of the backfield. Run the fucking screen game, for God's sakes. I mean, come on. But just as long as the offensive line does their job, of course, don't turn the ball over. James Franklin interview before the game. Yep. Poised consistently. It's 1-0. I don't care who's playing this position, who's playing in that position. It's Penn State. It's the black shoes, basic blues, the no names all game for Penn State football. Just go out and win. Find a way to win. But, just as long as the offensive line out front does their job. I mean, they looked pretty damn good last week. They ran for as many yards as West Virginia did. I just thought, it could have been more consistent. Got to get the tight ends involved. Of course, Drew threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. But yeah, don't turn the ball over. Keep the defense off balance on their heels. Special teams was an issue last week. Of course, missed 2 field goals, made another. They left points off the board. So we'll see who's kicking today, special teams wise. As Gabe Owusu will kick off, but then the starting kicker for field goals, whether it be Sanders Haydak or Alex Felkins. Haydak, of course, missed 2 from inside of 40. Felkins made a 25-yarder. But also like to see some more in the return game to do if possible. And then some interesting stats I found entering today's game. Drew Aller, first Penn State quarterback to throw for over 300 yards in his first start in 20 years since Michael Robinson did it in 2003. Of course, Rob will be on the call. 2 for 2 with former Penn State quarterbacks in the booth first 2 games of the season. Next week, following week, and probably the week after. That'll change before they head into the bye. But still early, long season, but first Penn State game ever to be broadcast on Peacock. But yeah, Drew Aller, first Penn State quarterback to throw for 300 yards in his first start in 20 years since Michael Robinson did it against Wisconsin in 2003. And then he's also the first Penn State quarterback to throw for over 300 yards in the season opener since Christian Hackenberg did it against Central Florida across the pond in Ireland in 2014. And then probably one of the under the radar stats for Penn State football right now, as Penn State, they've scored 30 plus points in 8 consecutive games, okay, which is tied with the Alabama Crimson Tide for the national lead across all college football right now, dating back to last season. They scored 38 last week. Of course, could have been a max of 56. They left some points off the board, missed 2 field goals. The 2 field goal drives, those were touchdowns, let alone the made field goal, 38 though, the potential 41-44 in the first game. I mean, I'll take it. Penn State's on the kickoff, so Delaware back deep to receive. They'll get the ball to begin the game, and away we go. Penn State kicks off left to right across television screen, ready, and I'll dial from the north to the south end zone. Touchback, Delaware, first and 10 on the 25. Right to left across your television screen, ready, and I'll dial as we begin today's game with Ryan O'Connor, not the Triple X star. But first and 10 Blue Hens out of the CAA, the Colonial now, I believe, Coastal Athletic Association, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he threw for 300 plus last week as well. Actually, about 21 yards more, but 2 less touchdowns and had 2 more picks than Drew Aller did. So Penn State defensively here, see if they can get some pressure, stop the run, create some turnovers. First play is a pass complete for about 3 yards. They say incomplete near side with Kalen King on the coverage. So we'll see if the Beaver Stadium scores a touchdown once again today as he did last week. Wonder what we should name him. I think Nittany probably works best. But as mentioned, a couple injuries once again. Seemingly everybody that was out last week or questionable last week. Same goes again today. And then at halftime, we'll have first half stats and scores. We'll see what's going on college football. We'll give a little recap and preview. First half stats and scores there. And then, of course, later on, recap the game and go from there. Hopefully Penn State comes out victorious. 3rd and 4 for Delaware from the 31. Roll out far side. Curtis Jacobs chasing him down, and it's incomplete. So 4th down, and Delaware will punt. I don't think I saw number 11 out there, so it doesn't seem like Carter's going to be playing today. Yeah, he's out there. Never mind. Obviously, they don't care. Hey, roll them up. Smoke them while you can. 4th and 4. Delaware on to punt. It's not like it happened after last weekend's game. It happened a month ago. They dealt with it. Saunders on the punt return to the 40, so Penn State will set up shop there, 1st and 10 with 14:09, of course. Take the one away, 4:09, but 14:09 to go in the first quarter here. This September the 9th, 2023. Maybe Penn State scores 97 points today. I don't know. see what they do here first off. But like I said, I like to establish a run game. Of course, let him do his thing, air it out. Keep it simple though. Get the tight ends more involved. They'll fucking start out of the gun, empty 5 wide from the 41st and 10 Penn State. And Drew Aller looking to throw, caught. And Theo Johnson for 8 yards. So the first play of the game, they go to the tight end. When last week, the whole entire game, they had 1 catch for 9 yards, and it was Tyler Warren. Which, you know, like I said, quarterback is Drew. Of course, Bo played a little bit last week. West Virginia thought they were going up the score. Yeah, they still have their starting defense in. Penn State had their backups in on offense. Yeah, they could have took a knee, but they're getting, you know, reps. They weren't throwing the ball against the Mountaineer defense. They were running against them, and they couldn't stop them. So, I mean, as fat man Katron Allen gets a Penn State first down for a 6-yard run, they'll move the sticks, first down and 10 Penn State here a couple minutes in. You know, they still couldn't fucking stop them, you know, so that's not going to help the score. That's just your defense blows ass and you lost, okay? I don't care if it was 6 seconds left or not. Do wish West Virginia, you know, well the rest of the year, you know, make Penn State look better. But it's not like they're running the score up on them, even though that's what Neil Brown thought, you know. They weren't throwing Hail Marys every fucking play. No, they were running the ball down your throat. You couldn't stop them, and you got beat. As you did, but you got beat on that drive with a touchdown. Penn State first and 10. But yeah, got, of course, starting quarterback out of the pistol here again. Aller. We'll probably see Bo. We might even see Jackson Smollett today. Fat man again for a yard. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. They're at least 2 deep at running back with Singleton and the fat man. Katron Allen, who seemingly got the start today. No Singleton just yet. Trey Potts is there as well. But then at receiver, like I said, they have 18 total on the roster. At least I would think half of them are going to play this year. Just a matter of when. Tight ends, they got at least 3, if not 6, if they need to. And then the starting 5, plus you have a few, you know, reliable backups to make it a solid 8, 9, 10 guys that, you know, on the line. And that pass incomplete, so 3rd and 10. So now get past midfield after about 12 yards and drive's starting to stall here. So, I mean, what, 48-yard line, 3rd and 10. Even if they get close to a first down, 4th and short, they're probably still have to fucking punt. Because, of course, the special teams woes with the kicking game. They're not going to kick a long field goal like that. They might go for it. We'll see. But I think they'd punt and pin them deep here if they don't convert. 3rd and 10. From the 46, excuse me, not the 48. Still 2-yard difference really in this regard. Doesn't make much of a difference. But in the meantime, the fat man gets a first down inside the 30 anyway. So they'll move the sticks on the 1st and 10 Penn State. So now you got to end up scoring on this drive. I'll take a field goal. Would like a touchdown. Keep pounding the rock. Work screen game. Get these tight ends more involved. But maybe you take a shot now. Maybe you take a shot towards the end zone. You have Keandre Lambert-Smith. You have Harrison Wallace. Liam Clifford seemingly the number 3 as Omari Evans is out. Or questionable once again today, but more than likely out even though he practiced this past week. Malik McLean from Florida State came on last week. He's a solid 3 as well. Got an injured Blue Hen defender down. Dante Cephas transferred in from Kent State. Like, they have talent, okay? They just need to put it all together and, you know, score. Go out and win. This, along with the UMass game in about a month, because of how the schedule is this year. It's not 3 non-conference games, then you get into conference play. It's 2 conference games, 3 conference games, a bye week, then you get another non-conference game before you go to Ohio State at the end of October, and then, you know, of course, the rest of the season from there. This is, you know, one of the last chances you're going to, in real life, you know, game action for a tune-up game, as they call it, you know, beat the fucking snot out of them. But we all saw what App State did to Michigan, among, you know, other teams getting beat here and there. But Allen on the run again, fumbled it, but Penn State luckily to recover. So he fumbled it, recovered his own fumble, which is a good thing. And it'll be what? 2nd down and 6? Yeah, 2nd and 6 from the 24. And out of the gun again. He hasn't been up under center yet. Dump it off to Theo Johnson again. Inside the 20. Del Grosso red zone. 1st down and 10, Penn State. So, hey, already on this drive compared to all last week, they have more catches by the tight ends. And it's 2 to Theo Johnson when it was 1 the whole entire game last week. So they're getting tight ends more involved. Thank you. I mean, the 18, probably run it. Like I said, though, why not take a shot potentially? Maybe something over the middle. You got time, relax. Now you got little to no time, but they'll hand it off, and the fat man bouncing through. Another 4 or 5 yard gain. So, hey, Big Ten football, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Keep fucking, that's Singleton, excuse me, not Allen. So he's now in, so work them both. And now they'll motion everybody out. Empty set again. Quarterback draw. Or on a bubble screen far side. Yeah, quarterback draw. It wasn't there. He wanted the bubble screen, but they had it covered. So he, hey, took what the defense gave him, tucked it and ran for about 3 yards up the middle. Under 10 to play in this opening quarter. Penn State with another 3rd down. So I would think, yeah, they don't convert here. They will end up kicking a field goal. And we'll see who the kicker is then at that point. I would think it's going to be Alex Falcons. I do. All right, 3rd and 3, Penn State. Almost got him to jump off sides. High snap, but gets it down, hands off Allen, bounces it far side, and into the end zone, touchdown Penn State. Yep, 9:23 to play in the opening quarter, and the blue and white strike first. Flag on the play, though. This might be coming back for a hold. Illegal block in the back on the offense. They'll replay 3rd down. Who was it on? We didn't get a number. So, no touchdown. They'll replay 3rd down to be 3rd and longer than it was. They say on Harrison Wallace. See if it was a good call or not. What, right there? Yeah, probably. That's a good call. Especially right there, you know, by the run. They're going to call that all day. So, all right, 3rd and 10 now. Or 3rd, rather than 3rd and 3. They say 3rd and 16, which it's not 3rd and 16. It's fucking about 3rd and 9. 3rd and 8, okay. Aller looking to throw. Over the middle, caught. 1st and goal, Nittany Lions inside the 5. As Kendra Lambert-Smith makes the catch, but loses his shoe. But still 1st and goal. Go hurry up. 1st and goal at the 4. He puts a shoe on. Run it up the middle. Yep. And he's going to be brought down to 2. Run the fucking wing T. Bring the hogs in. Let's go. Second and goal from the 2 for Penn State. Do not throw a fade. Whatever you do, do not throw a fade. Here we go. Wing T. Aller under center. What side is it going to? I think the right. They might have just switched. They go right, near side, handoff, touchdown Penn State. Singleton with 8:19 to play in the quarter. Penn State does strike first. Hey, they took the rushing touchdown off the board because of the penalty. They still run it in. A couple plays later, touchdown Nittany Lions. 6-0, extra point to come. We'll see who the kicker is. All starts up front, man. Got to be able to block around the damn ball, protect the quarterback. And that wing tee, I mean, you got a couple extra blockers, and then from a few yards out, you should be able to punch it in. And they're pretty damn good at running that play. Sometimes they run it too much, and the defense stops them. Falcons, your starting kicker, extra point up and good. Penn State leads at 7-0 over Delaware. So, I take it. We'll be going to commercial break here. Yeah, as fuck, a couple minutes in the game, I already lose my voice. But Penn State up 7-0. We'll get some stats here in a minute. But once more, thank you for tuning in and watching. As mentioned, we have on Nebraska, Colorado. Should be a good game. Nebraska last week lost on a game-winning field goal at Minnesota. Of course, Colorado, back and forth shootout at TCU, found a way to win and had the college football world a buzz. So Nebraska, Colorado, tied at 0. We'll see a score for Utah and Baylor shortly as they're at commercial break. And then the Fighting Irish and the Wolfpack. We have Notre Dame and NC State. Maybe. All right, we'll get that one up in a minute. But yeah, we'll get some stats here in a minute as well. And at halftime, as always, well, first half stats and scores. We'll recap and preview as we always do. The NFL starts tomorrow, so good luck to all former Penn Staters in the league. But then, as always, later on, too, at the end of the game, we'll recap, give stats and scores once more, and figure out what the difference was, and then hopefully celebrate. And we'll get more into all that later. But, yeah, it does seem like Abdul Carter is playing. He is active, no suspension for 11. They said they dealt with it internally. Of course, they've known about it, you know. At least I would have hoped they knew about it when it happened a month ago. And then, okay, it just became public knowledge this past week, which, why a month later? Who knows? But he still played last week. He's still playing today. There's the big uglies. And, I mean, it's just like watching a game on TV. It's just on a streaming platform. You know, it's an app that, you know, you have to have an account for, and, you know, a monthly payment, or get a deal for the year. I have Peacock because of the WWE Network. WWE Network is on Peacock and has been for the past couple years. Of course, there's Netflix, there's Hulu, there's Disney Plus, there's ESPN Plus, there's the bundle with those last three of the four. You know, there's Paramount, which is CBS. There's Peacock, which is NBC. Of course, Amazon has Prime. There's HBO Max. Those are your main ones. I mean, it's 2023. It's not fucking, you know, 1923. But, yeah, if you're unable to watch the game on Peacock, and if you're not listening to Steve Jones and Jack Ham on the radio, thanks for tuning in and watching my Delaware Penn State live watch-along reactions live right here on YouTube. So Delaware 1st and 10 from the 25 to begin their second drive, now down 7. And O'Connor's pass over the middle incomplete with Keaton Ellis on the coverage from State High. What the fuck? Yeah, 0-0 Nebraska, Colorado. Same with Utah and Baylor. And then, of course, as we get up and running now, it's Notre Dame, NC State in a commercial break. Deep ball, near side, just a little too much. He was going for the Thunder. It's incomplete, 3rd and 10. That would have been a big play for Delaware, especially early. create some momentum, get some rhythm built up, get a running game going as well. That's what I said. I think Delaware might give Penn State a run for their money in the first half. Third and 10, and Penn State with pressure, and they sack them. And that's Jalen Reed on a safety blitz. They brought everything except the kitchen sink on that. And 4th and a mile, they'll punt. Yep. And let me guess, running back didn't block. Oh, he was too late on it because they were too fast coming off the edge. Johnny Dixon was the first to hit him, and then Jalen Reed brought him down. So Delaware on to punt again. Oh, they almost blocked the punt. And be good starting field position. Punt goes out of bounds, far side on the Penn State sideline. I'd say somewhere around midfield. We'll see where they spot it. Be 1st and 10, Penn State. Up 7:27 to play when we come back in this first quarter. So, NC State hosting Notre Dame. Has the game even kicked off yet? Jesus Christ. Of course, that's in the way. But yeah, Notre Dame, NC State, Utah, Baylor, Nebraska, Colorado, Delaware, Penn State, 4 games we have on. Right now, of course, last week we had the other games on as well. We really weren't paying that close attention to them. We'll see if we pay any attention to these other games today or not. But other than Penn State, the team I've seen already now twice is Penn State's next opponent, Illinois. I watched that game last week. They needed a game-winning field goal to beat Toledo. And then they got beat on the road last night at Kansas. Penn State plays at Illinois this time next Saturday at noon on Fox. But a night game, 2 noon games, night game, and then we'll see about Northwestern before the bye. But another fast start. I mean, shit, they just scored on their opening drive again for the second consecutive game to start the season. First time since 2020 last week they scored on their opening drive of the season, which I thought was, knowing Penn State, I mean, that's still 3 years for anybody. Impressive might not be the right word, but more surprising than not. Because it's always a slow start. It's always, all right, until they get their head out of their ass and, decide to play football. It's just going to be the way it is. Plain and simple, end of story. Just how it's always been. But once again, this, as I said last week, with the matchup with Penn State and West Virginia, and now this Penn State team in general, it ain't your father's or grandfather's team. It's not. It's a 2023 Nittany Lions. So, Delaware's got some notable alumni. Yeah, there's Troy Reeder. We are. Him and Pat Devlin, 2 most recent Nittany Lions that transferred to Delaware and have success. So good for them. But yeah, Flacco was at Pitt, went to Delaware. Of course, won a Super Bowl, said he's going to fucking Disney World. Penn State 1st and 10 in the meantime from the 37-yard line. What was that, a fucking 10-yard punt? Go deep. Aller looking to throw. And in the flat near side, tight end Theo Johnson once more. Almost a first down. Or excuse me, that's Tyler Warren, 44, not 84. That is the sucky thing with, watching anything, even though this is live, it's still, second or two behind from the live action, even minus the 7-second delay. Good internet, yes. Good Wi-Fi connection, yes. But sometimes there is not necessarily a glitch or delay, but just the, 1080, 4K might be a little blurry at times, compared to your normal, with a dish on your roof or outside somewhere, for cable, for your TV. They do get the first down. But, I mean, hey, get this guy the ball, get this guy the ball. Just dish it out. They have all these playmakers. Fake the end round, hand off, fat man. Katron Allen going to try to bounce it, and he'll get a yard. So 2nd and 9. And another fucking hold. And that's on Olu, which is a surprise. But, I mean, I guess you got to do what you got to do and hope to get away with it, especially for holding out front. As holding happens on every play, but it's just a matter of fact that they call it or not. Yeah, that's a good call. He threw him down on the ground. But 1st and 20 now for Penn State. Another empty set, 5 wide from the 36. And far side complete. And that is Lambert Smith. Or make it another 11. Not Tony Johnson. I can't fucking see today, obviously. Malik McLean from Florida State. A couple catches and touchdown last week. 2nd and 14. So they get half of the penalty yards back, but still a ways to go. And they, remember, has good starting field position on this drive, so they don't score. That's pretty pathetic. Fucking embarrassing, as Franklin would say. Liam Clifford on the catch over the middle, and he gets another 4, maybe 5 yards. So, back right where they started from. 10 yards to go for a first down. So 3rd down. Aller complete. It'll be 4th down after Tyler Warren makes the catch. Kick it. Kick the field goal. Take the points. Take the points. Kick it. Do not go for this on 4th and 4. Now, if they get it, okay. Drive stays alive. Kick the fucking field goal, though. I mean, they might just try to draw them off sides, honestly. Let this play clock drain and call a timeout and kick it. Aller. Get the snap. Bubble screen complete. Harrison Wallace, and they get the first down just by the skin of their ass. First down, Penn State. All right. You definitely got to score a touchdown now. No field goal. Take the points up, comes down to it, but you got to score again. Good block by Lambert Smith. Got some 7.57 and Sweet Home, Alabama. Getting a Penn State first down on a 4th down conversion. 1st and 10 lines from the 15. Handoff again to the fat man, Katron Allen. Inside the 10 he goes as he bounces forward again. We're going to bounce on down to about the 6, maybe 7 yard line. See the spot. Well, that was, shitty ass tackle and just kept going forward. Under center, 2nd and 4, Aller from the 9. They got about 7 shots to punch it in here. Handoff again. And the fat man gets a first down. 1st and goal, Penn State at the 5. Knocking on the door here to end the quarter. 2:32 and counting to play in the first. Penn State up 7. Come on, guys. Punch it in. Got an injury. Yep. Who is it? Oh, God, that's not good. Even though they are deep at receiver, you still don't want to see your starting wide receiver go down with an injury early on in the season. So looks like Keandre Lambert Smith might be Malik McClain. It's all one. They're the only two receivers with ones as a jersey number that have played. Lambert Smith's 1, Malik McCain's 11. But they go to break. Penn State has a 1st and goal, the 5, knocking on the door into the south end zone, the student section of the tunnel. So, yeah, we'll see here if they can score. But they're looking thus far pretty good to start. This is the way honestly should be. Okay, you hot start. Of course, you don't want to cool down too much late, especially if they start coming back. That's for any game. But hot start and then slow and steady later on. Run the football, work clock. Get out injury free, healthy, and move on. Rather than the slow start, and then you're trying to find a way to come back and put it all together and score and potentially win if you're down. So got a 1st and goal at the 5 here. Run the wing tee again. I mean, maybe go to the tight end. Surprisingly, they didn't run the Wildcat line formation last week. Don't want to jinx it, but maybe in this situation, yes. Just whatever you do, don't throw a fade. Just do not throw a fade. But you're this close. Just keep fucking running it. Wear them out. Put them down. So, get the pot out with AC, that pot, but then also the other pot, the deep frying. Okay? And get out of Dodge with a win. So, hey, there's the Beaver Stadium squirrel with Matthew McConaughey. What the fuck is this commercial? Oh my God. Jesus Christ for AI. Lambert Smith got up. He seems okay. All right. He's get caught up in the pile. Get rolled up. Yeah, I hurt my fucking left ankle recently too. Yeah, he just got his left ankle rolled a little bit. Fell down. Of course, as a receiver, you're going to plant cut. Dante Cephas in the ball game at receiver form, it looks like. 1st and goal, Penn State at the 4. In motion, both tight ends to the far side. So they're legal as the receiver steps back. Run it. Fat man in the end zone. Touchdown, Penn State. So Singleton has a touchdown. Allen has a touchdown. 2:16 to play in the 1st quarter. Extra point to come. Penn State up 13-0. All starts up front. You got to be able to block to run the damn ball. Plain and simple. Drew might get lucky and might not even, have to throw for over 100 yards a day if they can run the ball this well. Just keep running it. Extra point up and good. 14-0 now, Penn State. So hopefully Lambert Smith's fine. If they'd want to sit him out, take precaution, probably be all right. Just because, he's a wide receiver and it's an ankle injury. You're already at 14 towards the end of the 1st quarter here. You have other receivers that can play. Next week's game is bigger than you think it is. It is. Even though Illinois, barely won and then got beat. It's Penn State's first road game. It's going to be Drew Aller's first road start. That's the thing. Last year, going back even a few years, the run game. They weren't able to run the football, and it was so frustrating. If only they were able to run the football, okay, maybe they would have won a few more of the games that they lost at that point in time. And then last year they got back to the run game, and you see how much it helped out and it worked. And they're sticking to it. Like I said last week, and as numerous people have been saying, arguably, as James Franklin in his 10th season now at Penn State, hard to believe, I know. But offensive line up front might be his best that he's ever had. And hell, 14 minutes in, they have 14 points with 2 rushing touchdowns. Some good starting field position, no doubt about it, from the 40-yard line to Delaware's, 35, 40 as well. So, yeah, short field. They really haven't had to, go the length yet and put a whole drive together and run this play, run that play, see what works and what doesn't, and then score. Even though technically that's still what they're doing. It's just shorter. It's not, a 10-play, 15-play, 5-minute touchdown drive. If that, with as high-powered and explosive and up-tempo as teams are nowadays, Penn State already gone hurry up a couple times today too. So coming back from break here in a minute. Yeah, everybody's filed in now. I would think 100K for sure. Last week they were about 200 or so people short of the attendance record, as it was 4th all the time in Beaver Stadium history. Penn State's run 22 plays for 118 total yards, and they've controlled the clock extremely good. They've had the ball for 11 minutes on the dot of the almost 14 that we've played. So do the math, and they have 2 touchdowns. Like Delaware, what? I don't even think they've gotten a first down yet. They've, gone 3 and out